Welcome to She Speaks by Atleta Filipina, our conversation with Filipina champions, co-presented by Modest. Lakas ng confidence with Modest, kasi meron na you, Modest got you. We want to have candid conversations with our athletes on their struggles, wins, and secrets to excellence to inspire everyone to push limits, rise stronger, and win their own battles in life. I'm Bigo, your host. And to introduce our guest for today, she is the founder CEO of Women's Run PH, the biggest women's run event in the Philippines. Sports has always been a part of her life, being a former taekwondo athlete and a climbing enthusiast. Now she is expanding Women's Run PH across the nation while being a devoted mom and wife. Let's welcome Miss Nicole dela Cruz.
Hi, everyone.
Nicole.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks also for your time and coming to your first ever guesting here on She Speaks. So actually when we open our podcast, we ask a little icebreaker question, a fun and light question for us to get to know you more. So we know that you are a very busy woman, but in the midst of all the hustle, what is your favorite activity to do for yourself?
So, for me, I love doing sports. That's my go to me time. So, I do a lot of things. I run, I also enjoy climbing, so many things, as long as it stays active and something that I really enjoy. So, I do all of those things, mostly related to sports or fitness.
Yes, when you see her stories, it's she's always on the track, and then you could see like I follow and I'm so inspired talaga by you, Nicole, just because you're able to still show up for your family while doing sports, and a lot of people would really ask like, how do you do it?
Yes. For me, all of those things, I make sure that I am present in the different roles that I have. No, so I value each and every of those, especially being a mom. So I have to be present as well in the sports that I do, and for the goals for myself and also for the company.
Yeah. So, Nicole, you have been giving back to the sports industry, staging Women's Run PH, and also helping out your husband, Rio dela Cruz. Then, with his other events, he really made a big impact in the running community. But we also want to know your journey as an athlete na taekwondo pa. Yun. Can you talk about your humble beginnings?
Yes, so I started young. Yung grade 2 pa lang, I was already into different sports. So it's my parents who actually made us go to swimming classes. And then I'm very competitive. My mom also teaches swimming. But in any sport that I do, always may kasamang ibang sport. That's why I'm also into taekwondo. At grade 2 pa lang, I was already competitive. So yung discipline in different sports that we do is already incorporated in me. So yung ginagawa namin is we train in the morning, tapos go to school. At night naman, may other training pa kami. So ganun yung ginagawa. That's what we do, no? So I have a lot of trainings in different sports, but I also faced a lot of challenges. In Taekwondo, kasi we're from Iloilo, so we have to travel to Metro Manila to compete and to be part of the selection for the Philippine team to represent in different countries. So I also competed in those. I am now third dan black belt, and I also completed and competed in US Open, Korea Open with silver and bronze. But aside from that, during my Taekwondo years, I also joined wall climbing and bouldering at an early age as well. And then lastly, I went into surfing because I love the rush. You know, those feeling of riding the waves, being able to do that. And then I went into downhill longboarding. So it's a skateboarding, it's a downhill longboarding, it's an extreme sport. And I'm the first female champion in Sikihor competition and Whiskey Hill Colinas Verdes competition also for those. And all of those things that I learned in different sports, there were always challenges and obstacles. Like for Taekwondo, we were dropped by our coach all of a sudden, but we didn't feel alone. No, this is something that actually pushed us even more to become better. So the scenarios and the concept and everything else doesn't have to be perfect. It's really a matter of the discipline, the grit, and being able to achieve your goal and to work hard for it.
Wow, that is a multi-sport athlete to even win multiple championships internationally and locally. Grabe yung skateboarding because I was like, oh, I could relate to the surfing. It's so fun. I love surfing also. Pero grabe talaga yung the extreme sports part. Wow, like that takes a lot of like courage din, 'di ba?
Exactly. And lakas ng loob, no? Kasi usually yung mga kasama mo doon, konti lang din kasi yung women who are actually joining this kind of sports. But that's something that drove me into also trying the sport out because I was also dismissed early, no, in that kind of sport.
Wow. Ayun. So now that we've now we know your multi-sport background. So how did you transition into being a sports organizer naman? Like how did Women's Run PH start? When did it start?
Yeah, so actually, this started with more of a personal space that I have, which is being a mom. So it started with a quiet truth na in the reality of being a mom. Because being a mom, you play a lot of different roles, and it's not easy from being active and being able to achieve more about yourself, just focusing on you, your goals in life. So at that time, being a mom, I felt like I lost my identity because I was too focused on my kids, my family. Because in everything that I do, I always give 100%. So this way I was too into it, no, too focused to the point that I wasn't active anymore, and I felt like this is it already for me, just being a mom, being doing all the things. But at some point, it gets overwhelming if you're not doing something for yourself. There was no balance. So when that happens, somehow it affected me and caught up with me mentally as well. And the outlook in life is quite, parang, oh no, is this all that I can do? And then in the health wise, what happened is that I have very high cholesterol because I became sedentary. And so for me to have those kind of things that I'm not used to having before, I felt like I have to change, no, the lifestyle that I do and everything. And I missed my own selves. So running became my way back to being active again, and that changed the entirety, no, for me, for myself. I was able to have a better outlook, and I was able to be active again. I was able to achieve more, and it felt like it helped me in so many ways, health wise, physically, mentally, and everything. And I know there are a lot of moms who are also experiencing the same way. So for me, I thought like, hey, I think this is something that I want to do, is to create a platform for women wherein they get to also realize that they can do better and they do more, let not just limiting ourselves in what we're doing just now. So for me, being able to do that, I created Women's Run. But at first, it was anchored to moms. And then I realized and to evolve it into opening it to all women, because I know, different levels, no, the girls, they also have their own challenges in lives. So here I was able to create the pillars, which is motivation, inspiration, and empowerment. And for me, talagang it motivated me to become better eh. And I was even more, I have more strength that I used to before. Being single dati, parang hindi pa ako ganun kalakas. Before I wasn't able to do pull-ups, push-ups, muscle up. But after becoming a mom, it pushed me even more to become better talaga. Na parang, oh, I have to exert extra effort and all. But I became stronger at that point. And then for me, having Women's Run, I wanted to have that. core in it to actually address the concerns of women as well, since I wanted to become to increase the women participation in the sport. So with that being said, I studied the landscape. I make sure that I wanted to be more than just event, because I want to create solution for all those things that takes them aback and thinking na, oh, I can't do this, I don't want to do it. So I want to learn all those things that they have in mind, so that it would be the safer space for women. Some, they feel like they don't have the confidence in them, the fitness level, so they need support. And for me, creating the platform for women for that is one thing that I'm very proud of, because I was able to address it. It was created with intention and with purpose. So with Women's Run before, it was hard to get, sponsors and everything else. It wasn't easy, because I was very honest from the very beginning with the data that the population that we cater to, the number of participants, as compared to having both men and women joining the event. But I'm happy that it was seen that the vision that I have was actually acknowledged, and was is now getting bigger and bigger. And then the community of women started to coming in. So that's where I was able to create the community of women digitally, and also in the physical aspect, which is the community, the runs, the training runs, and at the same time, the bigger celebration of women, which is the event itself.
Wow. And if I'm not mistaken, you started just community runs, no? When you were starting to form the group and the community.
So Women's Run, the event itself was already created. So I'm the kind of person who really plans it well. So I make sure that kasi I really, di ba, when you create solution to it, it needs to have proper planning and everything. So the marketing and everything else follows. So for me, I already have the event itself. I posted it already. But for me to increase the participation of women, and to make sure that we were able to give confidence in them to join, is I created the community runs. So I started it there. The first partnership that I had with before is with Rockwell Run Club pa sila before. They were like, I think in their following, it was like mababa pa, mga 30 to 50, where they were also just starting. So I partnered with them and the rest of the run clubs who are also starting with RWP and the rest, because I wanted to have a safe space for women. So that's where I make sure that safe space digitally is there, and then safe space for women also when joining these runs, and also having partnerships with other organizations. So started with the community run, and then the bigger run comes when we all celebrate all together, which is the Women's Run event.
Wow, what a vision, Nicole. Yeah, and also to just follow up with what you said, that we need safe spaces for women. So why do women runners need a safe space, just a dedicated space for them?
Not necessarily the dedicated space for them.
Yeah.
Yes, it's because there are a lot of men also. When we talk about communities, and then we open up our experiences as women, wherein men are there and they don't understand what we're going through. Let's say period, right? Let's say, period. We don't get to easily talk about it in public, because a lot of people would not understand how what we're going through. And at the same time, we don't know how they would react to it. So that's why we created a safe space for women. I have it also, which is the in Facebook, no, Women's Run community, because it has a wider reach as compared also to having the event itself. So this one, it goes through different places. We also have runners and women joining from not only here in the Philippines, but also outside the country. So we get to contribute, we help out, we share, we inspire, and we our experiences, they get to resonate with it and they get to understand it. Thus, having a safe space, we don't get judged easily by men. So and then during the event naman, when we say on ground or during the runs that we have, it is important for us to feel safe as well. And that's how our partnerships comes in with other clubs because they also have their own runs. And when they do have their own runs, it's a perfect opportunity for us to empower the women that they have. So this way they get to understand how women would feel if they get catcalled, all of those things. So having that safe space, it increases more participation for women. It gives them more confidence and they feel like they can be themselves when they run and they be themselves also digitally or online.
Yeah, and now many people see like in 2026 the FCC Women's Run on March 8th is going to have more than 16,000 participants. But when you started it back in 2023, what was the context? What were like the challenges in even pitching your vision to sponsors and supporters because they've never seen this happen? You're just making history right now.
Uh, well, to begin with, we started just a small number of runners, di ba? When we started, it was just 1,700. But I'm an ambitious kind of person. So I made sure that a few months after I said, okay, let's try 5,000 runners. And then a few months after 6,000, we were able to exceed the number of participations that we were trying to target. And now we're at 16,000. But it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't easy. And if you can see the data or how we analyzed it, it's just a small portion of women joining the runs. Now, if I target and if my goal, my clear goal is to increase the participation of women, and we know that the chunk of women joining the event is just this number, let's say it's 1,000. And if I peg the event at 1,000, I'm not living up to the mission that I want to do, no? So if I want to increase the women participation, I have to work hard for it and increase the target number of participants. And in terms of what you said, approaching the sponsors and all that, it wasn't easy. It's because of the event is quite new. It's something that is new to them, and then the population. That's what I mentioned. 30% lang yung babae, 70% are men. But I do believe in the vision and my capabilities to actually reach the target number of participants. And I know that I can make this community grow. And I'm very passionate when I say about it. And non-stop talaga yung pagka present ko, no? I look for spots. I get turned down so many times. But the viability of creating an event for women, this was questioned. But for me, that's something that even pushed me even more to prove them that I can definitely do this and make this better and bigger.
Yeah, how amazing! Because now, not only is it at 16,000, but I feel like even the way that you design events is just so intentional with like the flowers and also everyone cheering for the women. Like alam mo, it's an event that's made to really celebrate women and for women to have fun in. That's why I feel like I think like it's not only like about the numbers, but it's also the event experience itself. Yeah.
That's
And
so
also
true. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Thank you so
yes, like
much.
as someone who has participated in the Women's Run PH, that's what I really enjoy. And I think I mentioned it to you earlier on that it was my first ever race. As in, nag 5K ako sa women's FCC Women's Run in 2024. And back then, I don't think it was 16,000, right?
No, not yet.
Ang galing lang
But then
talaga.
it was, if it's 2024, we were around 5,000.
Right. Oh, yun. Now it's more than double 2 years
Yes.
later. Yeah. So congratulations, Nicole, and really thank you for your mission, sharing your passion and your mission in building this space because I feel like that's where we aligned in with Atleta Filipina. She Speaks by Atleta Filipina Season 3 is co-presented by Modest. All-day confidence even on red days. Be worry-free from leaks and skin irritation thanks to its clinically tested, non-irritant cover that's also hypoallergenic. Lakas ng confidence with Modest. Kasi pag meron na you, Modest got you. And I think like we also have this shared experience, yung phrase that we've all heard, yung babae kasi. So as women, we're building power in these spaces, in sports, in business, in media, and when people just tell or make that dismissive comment of babae kasi, like it does not only affect like or hurt our feelings, but it can also affect our confidence. So I would also like to ask you, like on your personal journey, what was that moment where was there a moment even that you were reduced to that yung babae kasi?
Oo. So, first off, no, I really don't like it when we've been reduced or use that word to be reduced as a babae. Because to begin with, I've heard it in different forms and I've experienced in different forms. People trying to define women, what we can do and what we cannot do. So, ito na-experience ko siya in the different fields that I've dabbled into. So, yung first is, diba, in taekwondo, I've competed against men during that time, my time. Kasi bata pa ako noon. So, dati, we have also a category where it's mixed. So, women get to, or girls will get to compete against the boys. And then they would say, babae yan, mananalo ka yan, talo yan. Alam, just hearing that, parang it fuels me even more. Just wait and see. So that's my mindset all the time. When people try to define you and try to put you in a position wherein that you can't do it, making a decision for you, it makes me even more, I can definitely do this. This is something that I'm going to prove to you. So, true enough, I was able to win that competition against against the guy. And then in longboarding, I was even told that because I wanted to try it, something new. Everybody's been doing it. I mean, the boys I get to see it, the friends that I hang out with, they do it. So I want to try it. And when I tried riding it, they would tell me, hindi para sa'yo yan. So for me, just saying it and limiting the things that I can do is something that I'm not okay with. So me, I really want to try it and I want to be really good at it. So that's why in everything that I do, I want it to be the best that I can be or to the best of my capabilities. So I just learn in all of those moments that people keep telling me that I can't do it. It's definitely not for me because babae ako, hindi yan para sa'yo. Those limiting words can actually fuel and sharpen my motivation to become even better. So I'm the only person who can say what I can do, what I cannot do as well because I am capable of doing the things that I believe in, especially in my capabilities.
Yeah, and I don't know if you also experienced this when you were growing up as an athlete training that what if yung magkakaroon tayo ng injuries, pain, and even periods, was there even any support or was that comment even dismissed at you that time?
Yes. So they won't understand, no, your coaches if they're men, and then you have period, and then you're feeling cramps or pains. They would definitely just say, wala yan. They don't recognize it. They don't know how it feels. So they would just say, you just go on. Parang they dismiss you or sometimes they say or if your attitude changes they would say may period yan, they those kind of remarks. But for me, when as an athlete I've learned that even during competitions and all that, I have to live by having my period, whatever I'm feeling right there. If it's the moment for me to compete, then I compete to the best of my capabilities.
Yeah, and how could you encourage or advise other women naman to find freedom and not pausing their progress just because they were dismissed that way?
So for me, it happens to everyone. No, whatever you're going through, there's always remarks like this, and you can't control it, especially with other people. So for me, you listen, you stay grounded, you whatever they saying, sige lang, it's okay. But you know yourself better. More than anybody else in this world, you know yourself better. And for you, you work hard, you train, you are determined, you have the will, the capacity to do it. Definitely, that's something that you have to push for yourself because the opportunity is there. And these people telling you and limits what you can do is just noise. So you yourself, you just have to listen to yourself because more than anybody else, you're the only one who cares also for yourself. The others, madami silang sinasabi in terms of the capabilities that we can do. But us, we can strive better and we can, especially if we have the determination. Me, I'm passionate with everything that I do. So pag ginagawa ko siya talaga, I do it wholeheartedly. So for us women, don't let other people tell you what to do and what not to do. It's you who has the decision, and you are the only person who can actually achieve what you can achieve.
That it's all just noise, especially right now in the age of social media. The daming people yung mas aggressive sila mag-comment kasi hindi naman natin sila kilala in person or something, right? So I feel like a lot of women really need that reminder, just knowing how to filter and just staying like no parang talagang having that self-belief din. So thank you, Nicole, for modeling that also to other women. And next we're gonna talk about the bigger picture of women's sports and the running community. So can you talk about how the running community has grown over the years?
Uh, yes. So I'm happy right now and proud with what we've achieved already because we actually increased the percentage of women joining the runs because of the initiatives that we were able to do, the programs, being able to achieve all of those things. And now you can even see it now with the number of participants that we have now. It has increased tremendously. And what matters most for me is the impact that we were able to give out to our runners. So, this event that we have for 2026, we have gained 3,800 new runners joining the event. Imagine that, diba? So we are really living up to the mission that we're trying to achieve. With 3,800, this is the future of running. So we are able to spark more interest in the sport. And I hope that it will jumpstart yung beginning nila for their runs. And that's where we come in also providing the experience, positive experience for them, especially the event is very intentional. As you mentioned, you've mentioned it earlier, the medals. I make sure it's very meaningful. So now, mas lalo siya maganda. Before we created a woman moving from one point to the other point, depicting the journey of us, no, women. And now it's about having a locket. So we are actually making sure that we honor the women in our lives who inspired us, who molded us to be who we are today. So everything that we do is with intention. And with the running community, I am happy to say na before there's a belief na ay hindi yan para sa akin. That's not something that it's something that I'm not going to do or I'm not comfortable at and confident at the moment. But when you see them cross the finish line for their very first experience in running, that's when you get to realize that we did something great because it created something new, and we made them realize that because of the joy of completing the run, they were able to achieve something for themselves. And now they want more achievements also for themselves, that they are also capable.
Yeah, ang ganda ng medal. I think a lot of people do join it for the medal as well.
Yes.
Ang ganda. Like it also, the locket or the charm also is on the medal, right? You started the
Yes.
charm medals.
Yes, that's right. So that way we get to wear it, no? Alam mo, your hard work, it's extrinsic, but at the same time, it represents the hard work that you've put in to be able to achieve the distance that you're trying to complete.
Yeah, and now you've also expanded to different cities in the nation, like Cagayan de Oro. So how what was that like naman na you've built Women's Run PH in Metro Manila, then now you're expanding into the provinces. What is the community there like?
Actually, for the expansion of Women's Run, it's really part of the vision of Women's Run from the very beginning, because I wanted to be the most celebrated women's running event, no? And it made it even more easier because these women are the ones who reached out to me and said that, oh, please have Women's Run here in our cities and all that. So I listened. I was very happy and excited to be able to put up the event. But it also comes with greater cost. Kasi logistic wise, you want to have that same experience you have here in Metro Manila in those different cities as well. So the quality of event that you want to have, you want it to be the same so that it will be festive, it will be celebratory, it will be fun, memorable for them. So it's costly, and at the same time it's also different there, because the number of participants they have, kasama na babae lalaki, sometimes it's 1,000 or 800. That's the data that I also got from the partners that we have, na when you reach at 800, that's already for them a lot of numbers for local race. So the women there, mga 200. So ang liit lang talaga. But knowing me again, I made sure that I pumped it up to a bigger number of 1,000. And I'm happy that we were able to achieve that 1,000 goal, or 1,700. And we recently hit a mark of 3,000 women joining the event last January at in Davao. And it was well received by everyone. Everybody was so happy. The women were able to actually dress and be free with freedom, no? Have the glitters on their face, have butterfly wings, all of those. You can see how free they are and how happy they are to be able to dress up for the event. And everybody celebrating for them. The men are at the side cheering for them. It was like, and their boyfriends were waiting at the finish line. So it was a sight to see.
Oh, that's so nice. So parang next time, I'm sure because you are very ambitious, it's also gonna grow to tens of thousands in the provinces for sure, no? That's in the
How I
plan.
wish that, well, that's the plan. Sana, na.
Yeah,
We,
and also because I also know that the because not only logistical concerns but also just your capacity then. So like how are you still able to really like wear multiple hats, juggle them while also keeping up with the expansion? Because I'm sure that there are also a lot of women who are like you that they just really want to show up for the things that matter to them.
Yes, of course we all do. Talagang of course I have kids. I have the business to make sure I lead. I'm also a wife. I have a lot of things on my plate. But what I do and what works for me is I set goals for myself. And those goals, it's easily aligned when you actually do something for it, because you're even more motivated, you know where you're going, especially if you have those goals. So for me, what worked best for me is the time management. So I try to manage my time is quite a luxury for me, because if I want to do something for myself, because I also have my own personal goals, so I try to make sure that I prioritize the things that needs to be prioritized, my family, myself, the business also. So early in the morning, we wake up at 4, and then I make sure that the kids are dressed because they're going to school. And then when we drop them off, that's the time when I also run with Rio. So we both run also kasi that's the only time that we have. So 4:30 onwards. And then at pagdating na naman ng 7 o'clock, ng 10, we go to work, we go to our office, there, all of the things that we need to do at that moment should be all about the things that we need to finish and our goals for the business, for everybody, because also people depends on us. And then at the end of it, that's the time wherein we get to go home around 7:30. We take care of the kids for their school tomorrow naman. And then we spend time with them before we go to sleep. So we have a quality time. We play with them. That's something that they always look forward to. But during weekends, that's the time that we spend with our family also, apart from the ones that we have at night. So for me, the lesson here is to do what works best for you, because something that works for me now, my time management and the time that I choose for myself, for my family, and for work works really well for me, but it might not for you. So for me, take down or take down the notes on these are the things that I need to prioritize. So I have to schedule it. You schedule it well and manage your time properly. So that's one of the things. And I also have non-negotiables. So you have to set that. But to make things it's very important for us to have that balance, that right balance. So apart from the things that we do for work, we always have to do something for ourselves, because if it's just about giving to for others, doing all of those things, you organize for them, but you love running as well, so you also have to do it also for yourself. So you have to create your own me time
Yeah,
to make.
create your own rhythm din, diba? That includes like sports, family, work. And then how I'm sure you got that discipline and time management from your athlete days, if I'm not mistaken, no? Yeah. So
That's
how
right, that's right.
uh,
Yeah. So I learned all of those things. You're right. I got it from my athletic days. So being an athlete, I learned so many things about it. So the values that I learned from being an athlete, I carry it on to my everyday life and to my work as well. So the discipline, the hard work, the determination, the will, all of those, the courage to be able to do all of those things, I incorporate it in my everyday life.
yeah, so how can you encourage like your parents, also the ones that you have been influencing, to also get their kids, especially their daughters, into sport at an early age?
So for me, you have kids at an early age and they do want to also learn the sports, or it all depends on the kid. Actually, me, I have kids, but I don't force them to do sports. If they're ready, they will definitely show it. And what I like about they see us kasi they see me, they see Rio work out. And when the kids, they get to see you do the things that you love, they would immediately try it out as well. So when my kids started, I have a lot of videos about this. I was working out, doing push-ups, doing my bands and all. And my kid, they're also trying it out as well. So at an early age, my son was able to do pull-ups as well. But now, hindi na kasi iba na naman yung gusto niya, no? So, but those things, those are how kids spark interest, or how they wanted to when they see their parents and the environment that they are into, they also try it out as well. So the best thing that you can do is for the kids that we have out there, that's why we also have the kids category. We want to as early as now, get that sense of fulfillment and sense of accomplishment when you cross that finish line. They feel also empowered when they achieve something and then you applaud them and you give them good comments. Definitely, this is something that lives to them, no? It sticks to them intrinsically, and then the value that they get from it, they actually want it even more, so they try it and try. I have a lot of runners na kids pa lang, but they still keep on doing it in every women's run because they enjoy. They even showed it to their teacher. So nakakatuwa siya. So for kids, it's very important that we also model it for them. And not only that, is we also have to let them try it and experience it so that they know if this is something that they want to do or pursue or they like to do for themselves.
Yeah, I also find it so healthy when you said that when the kids look at you doing something you love, so they also want to find something that they really love, whether it's not in sport, it could be in music, it could be in art, and also yes, you've really created that environment for kids to just have a safe and healthy upbringing as well, like in a sports event na ano, they bring their medals around. I've seen it, like they bring it to their parents, and it's just so cute talaga.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So we're now moving on to this segment. It's called the Atleta Filipina Rapid Fire. So we have this box here. Like if you're wondering, this box actually has a have there are questions in these box, but it's okay. It's just very chill. For this season, we're doing a this or that. So are you ready, Nicole, for our Atleta
Yes,
Filipina Rapid Fire?
yes, yes. Let's go, let's go.
All right. So, first question. So, would you rather speak your mind or protect your peace?
I would speak my mind.
Yes. All right. And then next, it's authentic or polished?
Authentic.
Authentic. Okay. And then third, we have morning workouts or night training?
Morning workouts, 4
Yay!
a.m.
Oo nga eh, wow, 4 a.m. I will graduate to that level in the future, not now. The earliest time I could wake up is 5. So 1 hour na lang.
Konti na lang. Ay,
On
okay lang. It's okay. Kaya-kaya na yan.
yeah, 5 maging 4 na yan in the future. Okay. So private life or public brand?
Can I do both? Kasi I want also to have my private life and I also want my brand to be out there.
Yes, we're going to reach more like 100,000 women by next year or this year. Whether because if you total everything, diba? Like it's already that level. And then okay, team huddle or solo grind?
Team huddle.
Team huddle, yes, for sports. And then sige, last. Ayun. Oh, this is interesting. Captain energy or MVP energy?
Captain energy or MVP energy, but I want to be both because I want to be MVP and I also want to be a captain. I don't know. For that one, I want to be both. Sige. If I'm during my athletic days, yes, MVP. But for now, I will be a captain for my kids. Go!
Yeah, it really depends
For
on
my
the
kids.
season, no? So, yun lang. Thank you so much, Nicole. So, we'll end. Like, can you share a encouragement to our listeners and viewers?
Thank you so much, B, for having me. And for our listeners and our viewers, what I really want to impart to everyone is as a woman, we don't have to be apologetic in what we achieve. So we have to be out there. I want us all to be confident and to feel empowered that we can do so much more in just believing in ourselves. And if you feel like you want to start your own business, your brand, your community, go for it. You know, the great impact for me, the great impact, it always starts in this imperfect beginnings that we have. I started in a way that I was trying to learn things, at the same time experiencing a lot of hardships and challenges and obstacles. But it is through what I believed in and I'm really passionate about that I was able to overcome those and be able to achieve what I want to achieve. So definitely this is something that can be done also by others. Just believe in yourself, and I think the rest will definitely follow. And always remember, that's what I always love to say, is there's no one stronger than a woman empowered.
Aw, thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you for sharing your passion and energy throughout for this episode of the podcast. Like, I personally felt everything. Like, just your passion to be excellent, your passion for women to get into sports. It also inspires me and everyone else also to keep supporting women's sports and Women's Run PH.
Thank you so much, BU. Also, I've seen you done a lot of things for women, and I applaud you for that. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much. And
Yay.
yes, and to our
Mhm.
listeners and viewers, follow us at Atleta Filipina and also Women's Run PH on our social media accounts and catch more She Speaks episodes and our features on Filipina athletes. Again, this season is co-presented by Modest. Lakas ng confidence ng Modest. Kasi pag meron na you, Modest got you. This is Bigo and thank you for tuning in.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.